Thank you. I just came from a conference where they had everybody touch fingers with the person next to them and say something personal they always wanted to say, but were afraid to say it. And about half the group got up and walked out. And the young man doing the event said, Mr. Gard, you've been in the business almost 20 years. What did I do wrong? And I said, Carl, these are truck drivers. They're more comfortable with pull my finger rather than touch my finger. And I told him in my programs, I really try to avoid giving out Peter Pan advice, that I teach people how to be more resourceful. I want them to be more resilient. And when they tell people to think outside the box, I think humor is one of the business tools that we can use to accomplish that. And it's not based, as Britney Spears said, it is not rocket surgery. It's something that anybody can do, and it's based on a very simple premise. It's this: your days are a series of good and bad things. True or false? These are not the tough questions, people. Your days are a series of good and bad things. True or false? When something bad happens, I put my hand right here and I say, bummer. Try that. Bummer. Let it go. When something good happens, I do this. Woohoo! Try that. Sometimes you just do it in your mind. I mean, when a beautiful woman sits next to me on the airplane, I don't go, woohoo! At least not anymore. But on the way here, I practice this every single day. I've flown over 2 million miles just on United. And every time I get on a plane, I can't wait to travel. It's not that I dread travel, I look forward to it. I have a black belt in airline travel. I have fun with it. If I can't get from point A to point B, it is not physically possible to get there. I got stuck in Australia when that volcano went off in Iceland, and I had to call a client in London and tell him that I was going to be 2 days late. And the guy was livid, and he said, who's responsible for this? And I said, it's a planetary event, sir. The continent next to you is closed. I mean, I'm good, but on the way out here, Denver International Airport, if you haven't been there in a while, they've been working on that airport now for almost 20 years. I read that the sun is due to burn out in 100 million years. They're going to finish that project in the dark, guaranteed. But I can't find a place to park because parking is under construction, and that's a what? Bummer. Keep up here. Don't make me start over. I finally find a place to park. Woohoo! And I always take a picture of where I parked just to remember where I was. And I take a picture, and this guy goes, see, he's chronicling his trip. You know, like I'm... You know, this is not the start of my travel album. But I get upstairs, and the guy ahead of me that's also flying to Minneapolis, our plane was delayed due to mechanical. That's a what? Bummer. And he's yelling at the person behind the counter, and he says, I don't care if that plane's broken. I have to go to Minneapolis. I don't care if that plane is broken. And he walks off. And I walked up and I said, I have a different opinion. If the plane is broken, I'm not getting on. And quite frankly, you can't make me. And it made him laugh, and he said, Mr. Gard, I'm going to upgrade you to first class for free. Woo! I'll go downstairs. There are 9 lanes at either side at Denver National Airport. Only 2 of them are ever open at any given time. I have a 50-50 chance of getting behind somebody with a gallon of gasoline or a brick in their backpack. So I don't get selected for secondary screening. Keep up. And I go downstairs, and the train doesn't come, and it's just like that fire alarm that was going on. You can't understand a word it says. So you're standing there, and the train's in here, wah, 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 wah. And we just stand there. Nobody did. And you hear, wah, 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 wah. And this guy next to me goes, what'd they say? Wah, 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 wah. I don't speak Charlie Brown, but I get upstairs and I go to hand the guy my ticket, and I said, hey, I got upgraded to first class for free. And this young man goes, Mr. Gard, there's only one class of service on this airplane. And I go in and I sit down next to this guy who's wearing pajamas. Now, I'm not the fashion police, but I wondered what his second outfit choice was. What did he pass up to choose pajamas? And he's ordering a margarita. Now, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, you know, and I know when you want one. You got to, and he won't leave alone. Want a margarita, want a margarita. And finally, she says, I don't have any margaritas. We haven't even left the gate. I want a margarita. And finally, she gives him 2 beers, which shut him up. And then she looks at me. She's already mad at me. I've done nothing. And she says, and what would you like? And I knew she needed help. She needed a little bit of what I take with me, a comic vision. And I said, do you have tang? Just a little tang. And she goes, what would your second choice be? I said, can you make me a milkshake? And she goes, what would your third choice be? And I said, can I have a margarita like that guy? And she told that story as she pushed that cart down every time she stopped. And that's what we're looking for, is that people are looking for hope. Using humor as a business skill isn't about telling jokes. What it is about finding ways that you can use humor to get past the situational stress factors and have more what? Fun. More what? Woohoo! The first rule is have fun. Say it. Have fun. Not about telling jokes, about having fun. When I travel, I get 2 of these bags with me wherever I go. 2 of them. I flew into Australia, landed in Sydney. The guy goes, Mr. Gard, really sorry, but on your connecting flight to the Gold Coast, your first bag that you have here is free. Second bag is going to cost you $500. And I said, sir, there's got to be another way to do this. I said, I'm $1 million. He said, sir, you are now in Australia. That stuff doesn't matter. You get first bag free, second bag's going to cost you $500. I said, there's got to be another way to do this. And he said, no. And I said, what's a one-way ticket cost to the Gold Coast? And he said, they're on sale for $98. Sell me another one of those. And he goes, what do you mean? You already have one. I said, on your airline, this first ticket, this bag flies free. This other ticket, this bag flies free. I just saved $402. And it made him mad. And he handed me the tickets, and I thought I better look at him, and I saw that I'm in 16A and 23D. And I said to him, can't I sit together? And he said, maybe somebody will move. And I said, you want me to ask somebody to move so I can be with myself? And he looks at me and he says, you win. And I said, I don't want to win, I just want to have what? Fun. What happens is, fun is about being really good at your job. If you want to reduce stress, be really, really good at what you do. And I take those things that are stressful about work and I turn them around. For instance, you ever have somebody take your check bag by mistake? You ever did that? It never will happen to me again. I had this sign put on it that says, this is not your bag. Many bags look alike. This isn't your bag because this bag belongs to Tim Gard. Now, does this work every time? No. It's on the turnstile going around. I'm in Arizona. This young man reaches out to grab my bag after reading the sign, and I said, come on. And he says, that looks just like my bag except for the sign. I got nothing on that. And it's just like this bag. I have another bag. A lot of you have black roller bags. Mine is the only one that has orange chicken feet sticking out of it. Why is that? Why is it? I can spot that thing a mile away. But here's what happens. Somebody, when you put your bag in wheels first, it's fine. But sometimes it won't fit, and I've got to put it like this. And I've had other people come behind me and move my bag, and then I have to check it. Since I put the chicken feet in there, it doesn't happen anymore. I've watched people grab the handle, get right about here, and just put it back. The side benefit is that it's funny. And I love it when they say, may I look in your bag? Oh, please, look in my bag. Young man at Denver National Airport reaches in, takes the rubber chicken out. He's not even surprised it's a whole rubber chicken. You know, he takes it out and he begins to frisk it. And I was doing good till he flips it over here and squeezes it right here. I'm biting my lip and I got a tear coming down. And he goes right down to the toenails and he goes, it's clear. I don't even know the proper response to that. But I tell you, I can't wait to have him search it every time. So rule number 1 is have fun. Say it. Have fun. Rule number 2 is do it first for yourself. Say for myself. For myself. You've got to find those things that drive you nuts and get past them using humor. Anybody here just want a few minutes to yourself where people just leave you alone for just a minute? Anybody? Right here? This is one of my inventions. These are called Don't Bug Me glasses. You could put these on. People will leave you alone. This one's yours. You got to come up and get it, though. This one's yours. These are Don't Bug Me glasses. What the thing is, people need to be able to take this back and use it, too. And it's just nothing but fun. On the airplane, there are times when I don't want people sitting with me. That's when I use my Comic Visions coloring book. If I'm coloring, People will leave me alone. And if I'm coloring pictures of myself, it even works better. You don't have to tell jokes, you just have to have fun. You know, these room key cards, the cards when you check in the hotel, it's just amazing to me. They either work well or what? They don't. I've checked in at Las Vegas, I walk up to my room, I've been walking for an hour, I get up and I put my key in the door and it doesn't work. So what do? Do it again, slower. And then you look up to see if you're on the right floor, phylum, genus, species. I walk all the way back. This young lady at the counter says, is there a problem? I said, my key won't work. And she automatically assumes it's a user error. And she said, let me show you how to operate it. She reaches under the counter and pulls out a life-size replica of the door and the lock assembly. And she said, let me show you how to run it. I said, okay, this ought to be good. And she puts it in and takes it out. And she goes, do you see it? I said, no, there's something subtle, something I'm missing that just... So I had to do her like 4 or 5 more times. And finally she said, maybe you could show me how you do it. And I said, sure, I was just hitting the door, you know. These hotels that I stay at, you know, you have to learn that if you're going to travel like I do, I can't wait to check into the hotels. A lot of you, I don't know if you have these, but when you check in a hotel, they say, what's your name? Do you have a reservation? Do you have a what? A major credit card. On the front of the card, it says, this is a major credit card. And then they'll say, do you have some other form of identification? And if you turn it over on the back, it says, here is some other form of identification. Now, do they laugh every time they see it? No, I don't care. I can't wait to check in with these things. I'm standing out in front of the hotel going, we got to get in there. They've never seen these before. First time I used it, I'm in Vancouver. I walk up, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Hi, Tim Gard checking in. What'd they say? What's your name? Still Tim Gard. Do you have a reservation? Yes, I do. And this young man says, do you have a major credit card? And I said, I do. I was hoping you'd ask because I got one. And he takes his card. He has no idea. Now, normally he'd ask for help. There's nobody there. He does it anyway. And he's... And he said, sir, I don't know what to do. And I said, if it were me, now this is just me, but if it were me, I would ask for some other form of identification. And he said, do you have some other form? Woohoo! You know. But I have all kinds of fun with these. And every time I go, it's a challenge because we need to be in the now. We need to be present. We need to be paying attention. And if you're going to have fun, that comes a lot normally. I checked in a hotel. This young man says, what's your name? Still Tim Gard. Do you have a reservation? Yes, I do. And this young man looks at me and he goes, and how would you like to make payment? And I said, that's not what you're supposed to say. And he goes, what am I supposed to say? I said, I can't tell you or it's not funny. You just have to say it. And he goes, I don't know what to say. And I said, you missed out on a lot of fun, buddy, a lot of fun. So I wrote some new material. Again, hi, Tim Gard, check in. What's your name? Still Tim Gard. Do you have a reservation? Yes, I do. And this young man goes, and how would you like to make payment? Well, now I'm ready. And I said, I would like to make payment with tales of glory and adventure. Gather your staff and I will tell you a tale to amaze and amuse you. Gather them now and the tale will follow. And this poor kid goes, we don't accept tales of adventure. I said, then with soybeans in my bag, I have soybeans for everybody. Soybeans. He said, you have a major credit card? Oh, yeah. Now, I give these out in my programs because these cards are also my business cards. But I sell these in my programs for $1. My customers buy my business card for $1 and then show it to everybody. This is what humor does for business, for healthcare. It's a way of just having what? Do it first for who? Yourself. The third thing is share it. Say it. They always tell you never turn your back on the audience. It looks like 2 bulldogs fighting in your pants. Sorry about that. Do you have crabby people at work? This is another one of my inventions. This is called a cube crab. You can go across the top of the cubicle. Are we being a little crabby today? I'm talking to you. And I know some of you are saying, Tim, did you bring any more of those? There you go. Oh, lost the card. This is not rocket surgery. This is nothing but fun. And we take those things that cause stress at work, and I find a way past them. And the better that you are at identifying the problems, I can teach people how to be more resourceful. You know, one of the problems as a speaker is people telling me they can't do something because it's their what? Their policy. In your businesses, tell people what you can do, tell them what you can't do. Don't tell them what your policy is. That's almost an artificial folklore thing. I actually have my official policy manual. On the front it says, this is my official policy manual. And it also says it's good to be king. And ladies, there's a sticker that goes over it that says, it's good to be queen. I'm funny, not stupid. And you can actually put your picture on the back. So when somebody says, whose policies are them, you just show them, that's mine. It just says me at the bottom. The first time I used it, I got to check in this hotel. This young man, what's your name? Still Tim Gard. Do you have a reservation? Yes, I do. And then he said, Mr. Gard, I'm really sorry, but all we have left are smoking rooms. And I said to him, I don't have any cigarettes. I can't help you. And he goes, sir, you have to sleep in a smoking room. And I said, well, there's got to be something else. Do you have any non-smoking suites? And he said, we do, but they're $150 more per night. Now, I know that I can't pass that cost on to my customer. So I said, can you upgrade me to a non-smoking suite at no additional cost since you gave away my non-smoking room? And they said, no. Our what? Our policy is we don't upgrade based on smoking preference. So I opened up my policy manual 2000.1, and I read to them, if I request and reserve a non-smoking room at any hotel and that property then gives my non-smoking room away to another guest prior to my arrival, then said hotel is required by law to upgrade me to a non-smoking suite at no additional cost to me, no exceptions. And I showed it to her, and she looked at it, and she goes, it's right there. He's not making that up. And she said, I don't know what to do. And I said, my hands are tied. Once I evoke policy, it's a runaway train, ma'am. And she said, well, you need to talk to the manager. So I had that happen before. So I opened up my policy manual 3000.1, talked with managers about my policy, and I read to her. Once I've said my policy verbally in writing, said policy cannot be overridden, or I cannot speak of it at any other given time, no exceptions. I slept in the presidential suite that night, the non-smoking presidential suite. You can write your own policies in here. I had a lady tell me she refused to seat me until the dining party had arrived. So I hand wrote in here, if I'm the first guest to arrive at a restaurant and the restaurant refuses to seat me until the entire dining party has arrived, I'll be provided free of charge any substance I eat or drink during the time the table is withheld, no exceptions. And she said, I just saw you write that in that book. So I turned to the section that authorizes me to write new and updated policies in this book as needed. Said handwritten policy shall immediately become effective, remain in effect till a final policy can be formulated, finalized, and recorded in the appropriate category. And she looked at me and said, what? You win. And I said, I don't want to win, I just want to have what? That's all I want to have. And in the very back of this, if you really want to win an argument, all you need are charts and graphs. I have charts and graphs in the back. And I'll tell people, do you want me to be happy? Yes, I do. Well, if I don't get my way, I may be only this happy. If I get my way, I could be up to 100% happy, which in the quarterly chart on the left shows is clearly best for me. And I've had people go, that makes sense, Mr. Gard. And it's all about having what? It's not about telling jokes. It's about having fun and seeing things differently. And this is not rocket surgery. It's something anybody can do. I teach people how to be more resourceful. I show them how to have more fun at work. And I show people that anybody can do this. You want to laugh at the things you can, be serious about the things you have to, and make work and the workers more resourceful and have fun. Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name. Promise to use my comic vision every day. I'll have fun. I'll use humor first for myself, and I'll share it. Hi, sign. Thanks for sharing it with me, everybody. Woohoo!
That was awesome.
Woohoo!